Shalom, shalom.
Shalom.
I'm coming back at you with another one. We want to give all praises, glory, and honor to
Yahweh,
Ba'ashem,
Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem,
Rakakadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule well. Enough respect to you brothers that's preaching and teaching the truth all over the earth. And shalom to the hopeful elect. And this lesson is going to be entitled, We Are the Rare Ones, and the strong man will cry bitterly. And we're going to start in Daniel 2. And we're going to start at verse 1. It reads, And in the second year of the reign of Nebuchadnezzar, Nebuchadnezzar dreamed dreams wherewith his spirit was troubled, and his sleep brake from him.
So King Nebuchadnezzar, he was having dreams, like where he needed the interpretation of, he didn't understand. He said he was troubled, And King Nebuchadnezzar, in a sense, he was a mighty man, or someone of status, someone of fame, prestige.
God, bro. Then the king commanded to call the magicians and the astrologers and sorcerers and the Chaldeans for to show the king his dreams. So they came and stood before the king.
Yeah, those in semblance to the mighty man, those who are really rare, because it's hard to come across like a magician or a sorcerer or astrologer. You know what I'm saying?
Bro. And the king said unto them, I have dreamed a dream, and my spirit is troubled to know the dream.
So he was trying to figure out, he was coming to the, so to speak, rare people of his society and his kingdom, to help him interpret his dream,
Then spake the Chaldeans to the king in Syriac, O king, live forever. Tell thy servants the dream, and we will show the interpretation. So they were basically trying to give the interpretation of the dream. The king answered and said to the Chaldeans, the thing is gone from me. If ye will not make known unto me the dream with the interpretation thereof, ye shall be cut in pieces, and your houses shall be made a dunghill.
And that's what's gonna happen in the time we coming into. You know what I'm saying? Those who cannot are not proven to be able to break down these mysteries of Yahweh Shem Shai, break down the seriousness of Yahweh Shem Shai's, pretty much show themselves to be real unto Yahweh Shem Shai. They're gonna be as dung, they're gonna get cut to pieces. They speak about that in Isaiah 13th chapter, about how their children shall be dashed to pieces
before their eyes. Verse 6, but if you show the dream and an interpretation thereof, ye shall receive of me gifts and rewards and great honor. Therefore show me the dream and the interpretation thereof.
And that great, and them gifts and that honor, and those rewards going into the kingdom of heaven, going into the protection that you're going to receive in the time of trouble.
That's right.
That's what, because you're rare, so you're going to get treated as if you're rare.
That's right, brother. They answered again and said, let the king tell his servants the dream, and we will show the interpretation of it. The king answered and said, I know of certainty that ye would gain the time, because ye see the thing is gone from me. But if ye will not make known unto me the dream, there is but one decree for you. For ye have prepared lying and corrupt words to speak before me, till the time be changed thereof. Therefore, tell me the dream, and I shall know that ye can show me the interpretation thereof. The Chaldeans answered before the king and said, there is not a man upon the earth that can show the king's matter.
There is not a man upon the earth that can show forth the king's matter. But guess who can show forth the king's matter? Because who is a great king? That's Yahweh Shai. And we can show forth their matter. Why? Because we're doing their will. And ultimately, we're fulfilling their purpose on the right hand side, Lord willing, with those men.
And that was Yahweh that was giving King Nebuchadnezzar that dream to begin with.
Brother.
And only the rare men could be the ones that can interpret it. But it's gonna get more into it. The Chaldeans answered before the king and said, there is not a man upon the earth that can show the king's matter. Therefore there is no king, lord, nor ruler, that asks such things at any magician or astrologer or Chaldean. And it is a rare thing that the king requireth, and there is none other that can show it before the king, except the gods, whose dwelling is not with flesh.
Ooh, whose dwelling is not with flesh.
Mhm.
Hold on, bro. Hold on, let's get. Let's see. Hold on. I think it's Galatians.
That's why it says, flesh and blood has not revealed this unto you.
Oh, let's get that.
Yeah.
That's even better. That's even better.
Let me go there.
Let's get that.
You got it? If not, I can grab it.
Okay,
quick.
yeah. Is it 1 Corinthians 15?
I believe so.
This 1 Corinthians 15 and 50. Now this I say, brethren, that flesh and blood cannot inherit the kingdom of Yahweh by Shem Yahushua, neither doth corruption inherit incorruption.
No, that's
Not the one. It's like, I think you're talking about
revealed.
Oh, okay, yeah, Matthew 16, 17. So like, it's Matthew chapter 16, verse 17. It says, and Yahushua answered and said unto him, blessed art thou, Simon Bar-Jonah, for flesh and blood have not revealed it unto thee, but my Father which is in heaven.
That's right, and the Yahweh is the one that reveals, that gives you the revelation. That's why it's, the Bible is a revelation. There's a whole book devoted to revealing, and only the true man of the Lord can break that thing down.
Time, brother. Yep.
And that's why the books are open now before the firmament, and the true men of the Lord are breaking this down right now. So
you go back to that Daniel 2. Read that last verse on Daniel 2 one more time.
Daniel 2 and verse 16. Then Daniel went in Salakia. Daniel 2 and
I think it was 11.
And verse 11. Yeah, Salak. And it is a rare thing that the king requireth, and there is none other that can show it before the king except the gods, whose dwelling is not with flesh.
Except the gods.
The gods. Right.
The gods whose dwelling is not in the flesh. Now, let me get this. This Galatians chapter 5, verse 16.
No, you're not. That you are gods.
We can get that too. I was thinking of that, but this Galatians 5 and 16, I was just wanted to get a quick point because it said about the spirit. This Galatians chapter 5 verse 6, Salakia 18, or Salakia 16. It says, this I say then, walk in the spirit, and ye shall not fulfill the lust of the flesh. So we walking in the spirit, you know. So we can't fulfill the lust of the flesh. You know, our dwelling is not in the flesh. We're walking in the spirit.
Right,
you know?
that's right. Good point.
Our dwelling is not in the flesh. We're walking in the spirit.
Good point,
know?
Brother.
The only ones that can do that, you got to be rare to do that. You know, to be in the flesh but not be walking in the flesh. You know, you got to actually have Yahweh Shem Yahushua dealing with you. You know.
Good point, brother.
You want to get the bring that Psalms 82 out?
Yeah, God, yeah, Khan, brother.
It's Psalms chapter 82. It's like it. Psalms 82. In verse 6, it says, I have said, ye are gods, and all of you are children of the Most High.
Right, that's the Israelites.
Khan, bro.
More specifically, that's the elect.
Khan, brother.
You are gods.
Khan.
You know, you're not Yahweh, Lord of heaven and earth.
Right.
But you're gods.
Yep.
So it's saying that and there is none other that can show it before the king except the gods.
Back in Daniel 2.
Daniel 2 Salakia, Daniel 2 and 11. It says, except the gods whose dwelling is not with flesh.
Read it back from the top, Baba Kasha.
This is Daniel 2 and 11, and it is a rare thing that the king requireth, and there is none other that can show it before the king except the gods whose dwelling is not with flesh.
Ooh, it's a rare thing. Let's get that word rare too, because that's what we was touching on about how this is the men of the Lord are the true rare ones, you know. And the mighty man gonna cry bitterly. Like it's finna go into in Daniel 2, but let's just get this word rare real quick. because he said it's a rare thing. They were rare as your car.
Strong's H3358. Yakir.
Yeah, it's like your car, I believe.
Huh.
Your car. And it says rare, noble, famous, difficult, honorable. So noble, you know, those the men of the Lord are the true noble men. Like you would say these astrologers and these magicians and these sorcerers and the Chaldeans was. You know what I'm saying? They was considered as the true rare noble men. But really the men of the Lord are the true noble ones. You know what I'm saying? You keep reading on that.
Okay. Verse 12, it says, "For this cause the king was angry and very furious, and commanded to destroy all the wise men of Babylon."
You see, the wise men, they was like the mighty rare men. You know, wisdom is a precious thing. Wisdom is more precious than rubies. You know, so if somebody got wisdom, they're a rarity. They're noble. You know, you're a noble man if you have wisdom. You know, and then you go into the word noble on online etymology. It says noble, man of rank, person of acknowledged social or political preeminence. You know, so it says illustrious, distinguished, of high rank or birth, high-born, splendid, excellent, renowned, superior. You know,
Nice.
literally knowable. You know, so someone that's superior and excellent, you know, high-born, famous, that's the elect, man. Like what Zephaniah 3:19, I shall give you fame and the praise.
Fame and praise and a name and a praise.
Yeah, in a land where you were put to shame. Because you was considered not as the rare one, but really you are the rare one. You know, and all those who was looked at as famous and noble, they're going to be cut off.
That's right.
You know why? Because they don't have the true rarity. They don't know the interpretation of a thing. You know.
Yes, sir. Verse 13, "And the decree went forth that the wise men should be slain, and they sought."
See, the decree went forth that the wise men should be slain. You know.
That's right.
And that's what's going to happen.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah, that's exactly what's going to happen, because it says, doesn't the scripture say that they will the power will be in their hand, the course of the power will be in their hand, and they will not respect the man. I forget the scripture.
The course of their
strength will be in their hands, but that's not.
I know what you're talking about. Should stand in their hands.
Yeah, and you know they basically won't respect the people that
Oh yeah. Second Ezra 15. The course of their actions shall stand in their hands.
Yeah,
Con. Matter of fact, let's get it so we don't butcher it.
Yeah.
Second Ezra 15 and I think it's like 15 and 14, 15 and 15.
Second Ezra 15
Let me see.
and 14.
Yeah, I think so. Let me try. Let me make sure. 15 and 16. Yeah, 15 and 16.
It says, "For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes. In the course of their actions shall stand in their power."
Right, and that's really going into like the police and these different government officials, but you can apply that to all these different different wise, mighty men, so to speak. You know, they're not going to regard them. You know, the course of their action is going to stand in their hands, man.
Yeah.
You know,
that's right. They won't respect them because intelligentsia. They call it intelligentsia. The people that's supposed to have all the knowledge. You know, the people that's supposed to be, leading the charge. You know, these people that's supposed to be, directing people and giving them that wine, that wine. When you go into the word, to wine in the scriptures, it's basically like knowledge.
God.
You know, that's gonna fail them.
God.
That knowledge, and there's people are basically gonna want to be out for blood, man.
God, like that Ezekiel 28 says that wisdom and knowledge have perverted thee. Talking about Esau, you know what I'm saying? But ultimately, he's considered as the true wise, rare man, a noble man, you know. But ultimately, you know, that knowledge is gonna you know,
Gonna
cause
fail.
it's gonna fail, ultimately, you know.
And then we in verse 13.
Uh-huh.
It says, and the decree went forth that the wise men should be slain, and they sought Daniel and his fellows to be slain.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you
You know, and so he said he sought Daniel and his fellows to be slain. Then Daniel answered with counsel and wisdom to Arioch, the captain of the king's guard, which was gone forth to slay the wise men of Babylon. He answered and said to Arioch, the king's captain, why is the decree so hasty from the king? Then Arioch made the king known to Daniel. Then Daniel went in and desired of the king that he would give him time, and that he would show the king the interpretation. And that's you know, and if you go more into the story, you want me to read the rest? Or
No,
you want
no,
me to
that's pretty much.
Yeah, that's pretty much. Yeah, when you go into the into the story, you understand that Daniel did in fact break down the scripture, the dream of King Nebuchadnezzar about the 10 toes and the kingdoms and things of that nature.
God, and ultimately, King Nebuchadnezzar set up Daniel as the chief governor, over all over his kingdom, pretty much.
Right. Which is basically could be used as a metaphor for the children of Israel, the elect,
being set up as the judges of the earth, the judges of the 12 tribes. Like Yahushua said in Matthew 19, those who they're gonna sit next to me, sit on the 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel.
That's right. And where do you want to go next?
So we can go to get Sirach 10 and 31, Ecclesiasticus 10 and 31.
This is Ecclesiasticus 10 and 31. So let me go up to 30 real quick. It says, the poor man is honored for his skill, and the rich man is honored for his riches.
Right, and that's the difference, man. And when you go into that word discernment, it actually goes, it means skill. It goes into skill, being skillful. So, and a prudent man foreseeth the evil and hideth himself.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a rarity to be able to foresee something. To be able to have vision. That's why it says where no vision is, the people perish. So it says, the poor man is honored for his skill. And that's, and that word honored, pretty much one of the definitions for rare. That's what makes us rare, because we have discernment. We're skillful in the interpretation of Yahweh Shem Yahushua and the understanding of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. It says, and the rich man is honored for his riches. So these mighty men and these and these noble men in this society, they're honored for their riches and what they have.
Right.
But they're not honored for being truly rare. They don't. Yahweh Shem Yahushua deems who is rare. That's why I said, in I think it's 1 Corinthians, the first chapter, that he shows the base things of this earth to confound the wise. And that's what's finna happen. A lot of people gonna be confounded, in this time that we're coming into, this time of trouble. That's why these women, they don't acknowledge the men of the Lord like that, putting them on a pedestal like they should, but they're gonna find out how rare they is when trouble comes.
Isaiah 4:1.
Yeah, the Isaiah 4:1 come. Yep. And that's when you're gonna see who the true rare ones are.
Come on, brother. This is verse 31. It says, "He that is honored in poverty, how much more in riches?"
Like Daniel. He was honored in poverty. He was actually in captivity. He was in captivity under in Babylon, but he was honored, So how much more is he going to be honored in riches, when like you said, Isaiah 4:1 pop off. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how much more he's going to be honored in riches,
Yeah, that's beautiful. And he that is dishonorable in riches, how much more in poverty?
Yeah, your ass gonna have a hell of a time in Jacob's trouble, man. That's why I say in that Daniel the 2nd chapter, it said the decree was set up that you was gonna be cut to pieces, or you was gonna be pretty much like dunghill. Which you read in Jeremiah the 25th chapter, they tell you that men should be like dung upon the earth.
Dung upon the earth, yeah, it does say. But matter of fact, let me get that.
I think it's Jeremiah 25:33.
This is Jeremiah 16:4. They shall die grievous deaths. They shall be lamented, neither shall they be buried.
No, that's not the one. Jeremiah 25:33. That's
Okay.
one too, but yeah.
This is Jeremiah 25:33. And the slain of the Lord shall be at that day from one end of the earth even unto the other end of the earth. And they shall not be lamented, neither gathered nor buried. They shall be dung upon the ground.
Because they're not rare.
Yeah.
They're not gonna be all you're not rare. If you're rare, you're gonna be appreciated. Like we just did that lesson about treasure. If you have treasure, you're gonna care about your treasure. You ain't just gonna like cast your treasure in the trash.
God.
You know. So, but if you're trash, you're not rare. You know,
Yeah.
trash is everywhere. Well, shit is at abundance.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So everybody shits. You know, that's not rare. You know, so that's why you're gonna, if you're gonna be considered as dung, which is actual shit, you're not rare. You know.
God, that's right, brother. You got something else?
Yeah, let's get
What was the one point I brought out? Cry loud.
oh yeah, get that Ezekiel 9:4. Baba Kashaf. Ezekiel 9:4.
This is Ezekiel 9:4.
Well, matter of fact, before we get that, let's get Zephaniah 1:15. Cause the brother made a point before we started this lesson about how, you know, the mighty man, the noble man of this place, they're gonna actually be crying, you know, crying bitterly, you know. But there's irony to that. So like there's irony to that because the man of the Lord are actually crying and sighing, you know, but they're doing it righteously right now, and that's gonna lead to them being a rarity. But you know, you have those men of the Lord, so like those who are not men of the Lord, who are going to be crying in that time, literally. You know what I'm saying? We're crying bitterly for righteousness.
That's
you
right,
know?
bro.
Well, we're crying harshly for righteousness. You're gonna have those, so to speak, noblemen who are gonna be crying bitterly for, you know,
For torments and
Yeah.
for anguish of heart.
Exactly. Yep. You read that, brother?
This is Zephaniah 1:14. The great day of the Lord is near. It is near and hasteth greatly. Even the voice of the day of the Lord.
Even the voice of the day of the Lord. Yeah, but you know.
That's
and
right.
who can interpret that voice? You know?
Good point. The mighty man shall cry there bitterly.
Yeah, the mighty man's gonna cry there bitterly in that day. You know what I'm saying? And that's because they wasn't crying and sighing for, you know, all the abominations that's done there in the midst thereof. They was taking part in the abominations that's done there in the midst thereof. Just like magicians, sorcerers, and astrologers. You know, Yahweh Shemashah said he gonna cut off soothsayers and divinations. You know, he's against witchcraft. You know, so you're prospering in wickedness, you know, the Lord's gonna destroy you. But if you're crying out, and you're gonna cry for it. But if you're crying out for the wickedness that's going forth, Yahweh Shemashah is gonna deliver you, you know, and you're not gonna be destroyed. You know, you're gonna be treated. You're rare because you have those who not crying out for wickedness. They pretty much partaking in it and not being okay with it. So they're gonna have to cry some kind of way. If you ain't crying and sign for what's going on, you're gonna cry for what your ass been doing. You know.
Matter of fact, I should get that sigh and cry.
Yeah, that's the one. Ezekiel 9 and 4. Started at 4. I think it's 4.
Ezekiel 9 and 4.
Yep.
This is Ezekiel 9 and 4. And the Lord said unto him, should I read up or should I just go straight to the point?
You good? Yeah, you can read it.
And the Lord said unto him, go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof.
Right, so you gotta cry now or cry later, like we went into in that other lesson. You know what I'm saying? You gonna cry now or you gonna cry later. You know?
And Zephaniah was saying, Salaki, let me go back to it. Unless you got to pull it up.
No, go ahead, brother.
Zephaniah. It was that Zephaniah
1:14.
Okay. What am I doing? Zephaniah 1:14. Slide. It says, "The great day of the Lord is near. It is near and hasteth greatly. Even the voice of the day of the Lord. The mighty men shall cry there bitterly." So the mighty men are crying bitterly, and we're in the men of the Lord are sighing and crying, like the brother was saying. So there's two different crying. You know, there's one that's crying because of anguish of spirit, and there's one sighing and crying because of all the abominations that are being done.
Yep.
One, the Most High accepts, and he's pleased by, and the other one, he's not, because he set one against it. The scripture said he set one against another. So that's beautiful. You got something else, bro?
You go back to that Ezekiel 9:4. Just a little bit more. Go down to 6.
This is Ezekiel 9:5. "And to the others he said in mine hearing, Go ye after him through the city and smite. Let not your eyes spare, neither have ye pity. Slay utterly, old and young, both maids and little
And
children."
if you're old, you'll be considered as someone who's noble and rare. Like an old person that's living, like a person that's like 90, 100 years old. Ain't too many 90, 100 years people living.
Because they think you know some shit at that age.
Time, bro.
Because they say, when an old person die, a library is just burnt down.
Good.
But that's just worldly wisdom, man.
Right. Time, bro. You're not rare.
Yeah,
you know,
time.
how about Shimon Shai? He's gonna show you how rare you is when he slay your ass utterly old or young.
God. Both maids and little children.
And little children, you know, having little children is a rarity. You know what I'm saying? Little babies, you know, because by the time you're 2 or 3, you're not a small baby no more. You're not rare, you know.
And women become not near any man.
Yeah, and women are considered rare. You know, they're like rarities, man. You know, they're like they're noble. You know, but in that time they're not gonna be rare. You know, they're gonna be getting slaughtered. Slaughter your daughter.
God. Become not near any man upon whom is the mark.
Upon whom is the mark. That shows you that
rarity.
The rarity of it that distinguished them. You know what I'm saying? Because they got that mark. So everybody not gonna have that mark. If old, young, maids, and little children getting slayed,
it's rare to get the mark from the Most High. You know, you're basically being stamped and certified by the Most High. And it says, "But come not near any man upon whom is the mark, and begin at my sanctuary." Then they began with the ancient men, which were before the house.
With the ancient men, you know. Matter of fact, let's get that word ancient real quick.
Ancient men.
Yeah, let's get that word real quick. So like,
it might be together in the blue.
Yeah, it might be. Let's see what we get. Oh no, yeah, it is, but.
Zakan, you know, which is Zakan, you know, that would be like for elder. You know.
Strong's H2205.
It said, yep.
Zakane.
It says old,
Zakane.
old elder of those having authority. So really, that's going into like the noblemen of our nation on the right hand and the left hand side, so to speak. Well, really, that's all the left hand side, but those supposedly on the right hand side and those who are on the left hand side.
Exactly, bro.
You know. So it's Yahweh Shema Shai is gonna start with the, so to speak, noble.
Yeah,
you know.
It talks about the how the young man is basically he gets his glory because of his strength, but the old man gets his because of his.
Is his hair? Is it his gray hairs?
His gray hairs.
Yeah,
Let me grab it. I don't want to butcher that.
Sirach 25. Might be Sirach 25 what you're talking about, if I'm not mistaken.
That's Sirach 25:4. "O comely and thing is judgment for gray hairs, and for ancient men to know counsel." So basically, the ones with the gray hairs and the aged men, they're supposed to, have some counsel. They're supposed to be like they're supposed to have some wisdom.
Yeah, I don't think that was the one though. Let me see.
That ain't it.
Read that one more time. I mean, that can go, but I don't think that's the exact one. Oh yeah, no, it's Proverbs 20 and 29. I got you real quick. It's Proverbs 20 and 29. The glory of young man is their strength, and the beauty of old man is the gray head.
Yeah,
You know?
that's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Proverbs 20 and 29. You're right, brother.
So the glory of a young man, that's his strength, man. You know. But yeah, how about you? I don't give a damn how strong you are. You know, like all them people at the gym. You know, veins popping out their biceps and shit out their neck. You know, yeah, but I don't give a damn about that, man. You're like a rarity here because you ain't just finna be finding like somebody who got a super sculpted body and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like somebody who will be noble here.
God.
And the beauty of old man is the gray head. You know what I'm saying? So like, how many like Dick Gregory's you gonna find? You know? But yeah, so those are like rarities here. But really not understand, these people don't really understand who the true rare people are. That's the man of the Lord, man.
God,
You know?
You guys know.
I got this Isaiah 13 and 12.
God. So Isaiah 13 and 12. I will make a man more precious than fine gold.
And not just any man. This is a man of the Lord, you know, somebody who's been through that purging process, you know, who's been under fire. Everybody ain't going under fire. You know, that's why it says when we are judged, we're chastened of the Most High, so we don't be condemned with the world. Just roughly paraphrasing. Everybody ain't going through that. Like, even though our whole nation is being chastised of the Heavenly Father, but they don't realize it.
Right.
You know, it's another thing when you going head on into something. You know what I'm saying?
Right. God, brother. I will make a man more precious than fine gold, even a man than the golden wedge of Ophir.
And that's rare, man. Golden wedge of Ophir, man.
Yeah,
you know, not just
right.
gold. Gold in itself is rare. Real gold in itself is rare. But then the golden wedge of Ophir, that's like the top level gold, you know? And that's what the man of the Lord is going to be in the time of trouble.
That's right,
know?
bro.
You get Jeremiah 30 and 7. Because in the time of trouble, if you're not rare to your Habashim Shah, you're finished out here. You're going to be slain, you know?
Jeremiah 30 and 7.
Yep.
This is Jeremiah.
Matter of fact, start at 6, Baba Kasha.
Okay. This is Jeremiah 30 and 6. Ask ye now and see whether a man doth travail with child.
Yeah, that's what time we coming into. Man gonna be having their hands on their hips like they finna have a baby out here, man.
That's them crying bitterly.
Con.
Wherefore do I see every man with his hands on his loins?
He said every man. So it don't matter who the hell you are. You're going to have your hands on your loins out here. That's how serious it's going to be, you know?
Jeez. As a man in travail.
As a man in travail?
Yeah, that's like that reminds me of those pains that women get when they about to contractions.
Labor pains, exactly.
Contractions.
But it says as a man in travail. Man don't get contractions. So how the hell is that going to be? That's going to be wild, you know?
And all faces are turned into paleness, and that's that shock. It says, alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it.
Yeah, and why is it going to be shocked? Because they're going to be thinking that they rare. Like, why is this happening to me?
Yeah, they're going to think they're in good case.
Yep.
It says, alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it.
Yeah, the day that we come into ain't none like it.
It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it.
And who is the he that's going to be saved out of it? He that's more precious than fine gold.
Those rare men.
Yeah, those rare men, you know.
It's beautiful.
If you're not one of those rare men, you're not going to be saved out of this day, you know.
That's right.
You get Isaiah 32 and 2.
Okay. This is Isaiah 32 and 2. It says, and a man shall be as an hiding place from the wind, and a covert from the tempest, as rivers of water in a dry place, as the shadow of a great rock in a weary land.
You can break it down.
Come. You know, that same man that's being made, that's that rarity. He's gonna be so rare that he's gonna be a hiding place from the wind, because the Most High is gonna be dealing with only those select few men. So, that ties in with me and my brother were going into Isaiah 4 and 1, where 7 women will take hold of one man. Because that man's gonna be he's gonna be highly coveted.
Bro. Read that one more time, Bubba.
It says, and a man shall be as an hiding place from the wind.
So a man gonna be a hiding place from the wind. The wind represents destruction. Man, what man? The man of the Lord. He's the only way you can be hid from this destruction.
That's right.
You know.
And it says, and a covert from the tempest.
And a covert from the tempest. You know, you're covering.
Yeah.
You know,
because the Most High is going to visit the world in storms.
With tempest.
Mm-hmm.
With your kind, bro. I know. I think it's Isaiah 26 or
Con.
29 and 6. Kind.
So basically, when the Most High starts to visit the world, which we can already see through various storms, a man will be a hiding place.
Bro, and not just any man. This that man that's more precious than fine gold. That rare man.
That's right.
You know.
It says, as rivers of water in a dry place. And
as rivers, go ahead.
And that rivers of water, it represents having this knowledge and understanding.
Exactly, y'all.
It's
exactly.
truth. Because
that living water.
That living water. And it says...
and it said, as rivers of water in a dry place. That's rare as hell,
That's
man.
That's very rare.
You're not, you walking through a desert, you're not just finna find a stream out there.
Water.
A river, you know what I'm saying?
It says, as the shadow of a great rock in a weary land.
Bro.
So, you know, that shadow of a great rock in a weary land, that's supposed to represent, you know, a covering from you know, from
all the trouble that's going forth, you know, because that's a lot of trouble. A rock in the great weary land, you know, that's that's a hell of a covering, you know, that's a hell of a protection, bro, because that means like in a whole great weary land, that's a lot of land mass. You know what I'm saying? But you got a rock that's protection in that whole land mass.
That kind of reminds me of when the Most High was dealing with Jonah. Even though it wasn't a rock that covered him, he was being covered. I forget exactly what the Most High basically had something cover him from the beating, the sun that was beating down on him. And if I can, let me grab that real quick. Yeah, I'm gonna try to find that real quick. But if you got something, you can bring it out, Baba Kashah.
Let me get Matthew 7. This Matthew 7 and 13. This is Matthew chapter 7, verse 13. Enter ye in at the straight gate, for wide is the gate, and broad is the way that leadeth to destruction, and many there be which go in thereat. And that's that weary land, man. You know, many are, you know, gonna be led to destruction. Why? Because you're not gonna find a rock in a weary land like that, you know.
That's right.
It says so, but it says enter in ye at the straight gate, you know. So a woman need to be trying to find her a man of the Lord, you know, and appreciating that man of the Lord, and man need to be seeking Yahweh Shem Yahushua, you know what I'm saying?
That's right, bro.
It says, because straight is the gate and narrow is the way. So rivers of water in a dry place, that's the straight gate. That's a position of difficulty. That's what straight and straights mean, a position of difficulty, you know?
That's right.
So that's like finding something that's rare, you know, because straight is the gate and narrow is the way which leadeth unto life, and few there be that find it, The few that's find it, that's the rare.
That's right, bro.
You know?
That's right.
You found it out?
Khan. This is Jonah 4 and 6, and we know that Jonah, he was doing the will of the Lord.
Khan, brother.
You know, he may have wanted to drag his feet a little bit, but the Most High put that fire under him.
Khan, brother.
And he ended up doing the will of the Lord.
Khan.
But this is Jonah 4 and 6, and it says, and the Lord Yahweh prepared a gourd and made it to come. Let me see if I should go up. I'll go up one. It says, so Jonah went out of the city and sat on the east side of the city, and there made him a booth and sat under it in the shadow till he might see what would become of the city. And the Lord Yahweh prepared a gourd and made it to come up over Jonah, that it might be a shadow over his head to deliver him from his grief. So Jonah was exceeding glad of the gourd. And if you go into that word, so he's basically shielding him from the sun. And the word gourd, if you go into it, let me go into that word real quick. It's a lot. And this is it's a lot. gourd is so it's basically like a plant.
Mm.
So he made a plant come up over him to
Hey,
shield him
and that's
from
the
sun.
spirit because we're in semblance to like plants. You know,
Con.
we're firmly planted, firmly rooted.
Con.
You know, like trees. You know,
That's right, brother.
so yeah, the scriptures has great comparison to plants.
Con.
You know, so that's spiritual. You know,
Con. So yeah, and I was basically comparing that gourd that Jonah got from Yahweh to that great rock. You know, that rock in a weary land.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Let me get this last one out if you got anything else.
Con.
This Romans chapter 9 verse 6. Romans 9 and 6. Bible says.
Con. This is Romans 9 and 6.
Mm-hmm.
It says, not as though the word of Yahweh hath taken none effect, for they are not all Israel which are of Israel.
Right, so it's hella Israelites out here. You know, Israel should be as the sand of the sea. You know, but guess what? The elect are the true rare ones. You know, that's the true Israel, the elect of God. You know, that's what really matters. You know, those are the true rare ones because you know Israel as a nation we're a peculiar treasure. But guess what? It's a elect within the elect.
Con, that's that Israel of God.
Con.
And that's in Galatians, I'm pretty sure.
Galatians 4.
Con. Salakia, bear with me, brothers. You said Galatians 4?
Yeah, I think it's like Galatians 4 and 25, 4 or something like that.
Galatians, I don't think it's Galatians. Salakia, brothers.
I thought it was...
Ooh. 538.
yeah, you know. Hold on. I thought it is in Galatians though. We just might be in the wrong chapter. Let's try Galatians.
Yeah, it's got to be Galatians. Salakia, let me go down here. Galatians.
Let me bring this out real quick while you try to find it real quick.
Come on, brother.
This Colossians chapter 3 verse 12, it says, put on therefore as the elect of Yahweh. It's like put on therefore as the elect of Yahweh Bashim Al-Shah, holy and beloved, bowels of mercies, kindness, humbleness of mind, meekness, long suffering. You know, so pretty much it said, you know, the point on that was for us to put on as the elect of Yahweh Bashim Al-Shah, holy and beloved. You know, you got it.
Khan, this is Galatians 6 and 16.
Khan, Salakia.
It says, and as many as walk according to this rule, peace be on them that walk according to this rule. You know, so they're walking according to specific rules. The true men, the Israel of Yahweh. It says, peace be unto them in mercy and upon the Israel of Yahweh.
That's the holy and beloved. You know, that's the ones with the bowels of mercy, kindness, humbleness of mind, and meekness and long suffering. That's what Yahweh Shema is gonna have towards them. You know, because they're rare unto him. You know,
That's right.
Yeah, that's it. You got anything else up?
No, I don't have anything else.
Yeah, so we pray through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shema Shad is edifying, and we want to give our praises to
Yahweh,
by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem,
Rakal
Kadash. Double honors to the apostle and elders, a great millstone, rule well, and peace and salutations to the house of David. Shalom to the elect.
Shalom.